Hello, welcome to the Ars Electronica Center. Welcome to our home delivery program. Since 2 weeks now, we are broadcasting daily, directly live from the Ars Electronica Center, showing the highlights of our exhibitions, doing workshops, lectures, and of course concerts. In particular, today, again, our series of concerts dedicated to piano music and computer visualizations. It's the 3rd edition now, and since we got quite a lot of questions about how these visualizations come together, we prepared a little explanation to show you the technical process behind it. Basically, what you see here is our setup. We have this wonderful Bösendorfer piano, the Zeus, which is actually a piano that is equipped with special computer technology, but for this we use completely external technology. We have regular microphones that you would use for any type of recording, and with these microphones we go directly in a computer which does a very sophisticated and elaborated live sound analysis. You see here many dots and lines going up and down according to the way how I speak. We see already we are analyzing the volume, the time, how the volume changes over time. We have another type of information about the distribution of sound, but the most important part is here actually. This is the so-called frequency analysis, and every sound that comes into the microphones is now analyzed by the computer in hundreds, actually thousands of different frequencies, and we see exactly how loud, how strong each of the frequencies is. The deep frequencies, the medium frequencies, and the high frequencies. And this is actually what produces also the different sound of music, of speech, and all these kind of things. And this is being analyzed, and then this data is sent digitally to another computer, a very big graphic engines, which does the real-time visualization. So all this data is converted into parameters, in new data that helps us to generate the graphics. Not only the color and size of the graphics, but also the behavior of these elements. The graphics consists out of hundreds, thousands, sometimes 10,000s or 100,000s of individual lines, triangles, points, geometrical elements. And based on this information that we get directly from the music, the computer then puts them together in these very interesting shapes as if there would be dancers actually dancing to the music. To show you how this really works, we have prepared a little intro today, and this is a very good moment in time to introduce our guest musicians of this evening. Again, it's Maki Namekawa and Dennis Russell Davies, the really world-famous and very well-renowned piano artists here from Linz, and they have prepared a little intro to show the process of computer visualization. Great, I hope this gave you some idea of what's going on behind the scenes, so to say, and I think now it's finally time to come to the most important part of this evening again, the concert and music. Actually, we have a Russian program today, Strawinsky and Shostakovich, and the beginning is a really great world premiere actually. We are going to play the Firebird Suite of Strawinsky, arranged for four-handed piano. Actually, Dennis Russell Davies himself arranged this wonderful music, the Firebird from Igor Strawinskys for four-handed piano. We had a performance of the full version already at the festival last year in September, and now this evening we will hear for the first time his arrangement of the Firebird Suite, Firebird Light, as some people say, for four-handed piano. Please, without any further ado, enjoy the evening, enjoy the music, and please give us a few moments to arrange the cameras to start. after this piece, you always need some time to breathe again. I cannot imagine what it means for you to play with such a force and dynamic, this really wonderful piece. I'm always super excited how you managed with your piano arrangement to really transform the essence of this piece that we all know from the very big orchestra with all the different sounds, how you really condensed all this essence into this arrangement. It's just a really wonderful and great experience.
Perfect, as you can probably imagine. I mean, I've conducted the piece very often. Strawinsky had two, but Strawinsky never did a four-hand version. He did a solo version of the entire ballet, and he evidently played it himself.
Yeah.
Of course, he could pick and choose. His solo piano version is unplayable unless you have three hands. And you always have to leave something out. And I didn't want to leave anything out. And then I also have to say that, of course, I was able to bring the experience of the orchestra to the arrangement, but I couldn't have done it without her, because we then sat down together and we really worked this through together. So it's a two-man show.
Wonderful. It's actually now almost a tradition, the third concert, that we have also a little talk session where we invite guests to join us, and guests who have a special background with music. I think this evening we have really a very great person joining us. Since more than 30 years, he is the director, the mastermind of the Piano Festival in Ruhr, where you have also, I think, a lot of experience there. So, Dennis, who is our guest this evening?
I'm just delighted that Professor Franz Zava could join us from Cologne tonight. Zava and I are friends more than probably 45 years. I one time guested as a young guy with the Munich Philharmonic, and Zava was there. He was the intendant of the orchestra, and that started a friendship which then continued. He became the intendant of the new concert hall in Cologne, the Philharmonie in Cologne, and just turned it into the central place in Germany, originally West Germany and then later in Germany for music. Everybody came and played there, and I was fortunate too to be there very often with Zava. He was at Carnegie Hall also as the intendant there. He was with the Berlin Philharmonic, but all the time he's also maintain his relationship and loyalty to the Piano Festival Ruhr, and I was able to be there, and we've been able to be there very often as guests. So I'm just thrilled, Zava, that you're there tonight. Can you hear us? You're there tonight.
Well, I'm happy to be here as well. Huh? Can you hear us? I can hear you. I hope you hear me.
We hear you perfectly.
Is it okay with the tone?
Perfect.
Or should I switch down
no,
the...
it's perfect. Zava, it's very good.
Or should I switch down the...
Very good. Zava, it's very good.
Okay, then let's continue. Yeah. Huh?
Zava, I think we were talking about the Piano Festival Ruhr, and for all of us who've been in our musical lives somewhat on hold, Maki and I have this wonderful privilege and opportunity to perform weekly from the Ars Electronica Center, but you have some very good news for some music lovers all over the world. But you have some very good news for some music lovers all over the world.
Well, actually, especially for the people who are living here in the Ruhr area, because we may continue our festival already from June 4th onward. That's possible because the state of North Rhine-Westphalia has a plan where the concert hall should be reopened at the end of the month, and therefore we can continue with the second half of our festival until July 11th with many concerts, not with all of them, but at least with quite a huge number, with 20 concerts, of course, in front of a reduced audiences. But many artists are willing to play twice an evening. And so far, we can at least rescue this for 2/3 of our listeners, our concerts.
You'll be having the performances will take place They'll perform, there'll be an intermission, the next audience comes in, and they'll repeat it. Are you having about half of a hall? Is that what you're estimating?
I couldn't hear you because there's quite some noise in the live. Sorry, I hear the people behind the camera better than you, Dennis.
Okay. Yazdan, we're having trouble. He doesn't hear me. He's hearing everything from out there. I'm sorry, he what?
He has the live stream also running.
Zava, it would help if you closed your live stream. Your iPad is tuned into us. If you just close that.
Okay, then I close it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw it out of the window.
Now it's better?
Yeah, if it's better for you, it's better for us.
Okay. I don't hear you now
Do you hear me?
anymore. I just hear the people behind the camera. I'm sorry.
You can go there.
Do you hear Gerfried?
It just should be the other way around.
Is my microphone working?
No, we don't hear him. This is too bad.
Can you hear me?
No.
Well,
Okay.
You can go probably there to your house.
Yes, I'm going to go over and see what the situation is.
Good. Dennis is a conductor.
it's
He
nice
always
to
has
see
to
Maki.
take over the operations. Well, I mean, we could talk in between a little bit so that our audience on the live stream is getting something. I mean,
So I
you
switch
have
off.
a very difficult part also to play on this piano. I mean, I see your hands flying all the time. The usual questions that come with this is, I mean, how long does it take to rehearse a piece like this?
Very good now. Maki, I can hear you wonderfully.
Okay. Zava is back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Maki
You
finishes.
finish.
Yeah,
I had the usual question,
So-
how long do you rehearse such a piece?
so many as we can. So we need it. But then
That's
the
nice.
version is- yeah, we made it together, but he actually more part, 90%, and then we have to try to start how is function.
We started this project when I was with the Symphony Orchestra Basel. I conducted the 3 big ballets, Firebird, Sacre, and Petrushka, and we did the piano versions, and then we made a double pack of a recording. So that's where this started, and this recently now, the suite, was just for this week. So Zava, you're back.
Okay, now.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I can hear you very well now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The question
Actually, I
I had
remember
asked
also
you
very
was
well.
how you're arranging it. Are you doing it with half an audience twice?
That's it. So at least we rescue our programs for 2/3 of our audiences.
Great.
So the first concert starts at 5 o'clock and this lasts 75 minutes. And then we continue at 8 o'clock or 8:30, depending from the hall, for another 75-minute concert with the same program.
And are you playing as we always did there in many different halls, or are you going to be in one hall?
No, we are actually, for this festival in total, we are again on 30 different stages in 20 different cities.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You must have had, there's a Firebird for solo piano, which is 3 movements from the Firebird. You must have had that many times on the program.
Yeah, last time it was 2012, this Trifonov, and 2006 or 7, I think it was Piemontesi. But it's, to be honest, it's not to compare with your wonderful version for 4 hands, because as you say, you need 3 hands for the 2 hands version.
At least.
And if you have 4 hands and you have your imagination of sound, that's your merit, because you know all the orchestra parts by heart. And therefore, you can really transfer them to the piano. And Maki, you are a wonderful flutist, a wonderful oboe player, and it's unbelievable what you can. By the way, we should not forget this wonderful visual part of this version, what we have seen on the screen. It's absolutely great how you adapt the musical history to this optical impressions. It reminded me very much to Walter Ruttmann's Opus 2 from the year 1922, which we did quite often in my Cologne years, the Musik when we had always music, not films. And so it is really wonderful what this combination. Congratulations to all of you.
Well, it's wonderful. I think perhaps, again, the thing that Gerfried mentioned at the beginning, of course, is that the images are very much affected by how we play. Okay. And Gerfried sees it during a concert very differently than he sees it during a rehearsal. Because during a rehearsal, we may be trying things out, we may be relaxing the tempos, we may be relaxing the dynamics, but when we let loose, I'm sure, and Gerfried might be able to comment on that, the effect of the sound on the images.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's really great to hear that somebody knows this history of music visualization so well, and there are actually quotes to this history, so really thanks for noting this. And as Dennis just said, it's really, there are quite a lot of differences between the versions, between the rehearsal and then the performance, because all the movements, this kind of ballet dancing movements of the graphic, there is no preparation, there is no animation going on beforehand. It's really animated entirely by the music, by the way how loud they play, how they change the high notes and the deep notes. So it's really, it's always a wonderful live experience as well as the concert.
I think the only thing that's not reflected is wrong notes.
Well, the computer is so adaptable, it
there
can
was
even
no,
deal with wrong notes.
No wrong notes to be seen.
Yeah.
Not to hear
Not to be heard.
as well.
Exactly.
But like I think Coleman said, there is no mistake unless you try to correct it. So who cares about wrong notes?
Gerfried mentioned before the complete ballet version. That lasts around 50 minutes, the entire thing. And I had the experience doing performances with the Symphony Orchestra Basel, a series of them. And then we had a tour concert. And so we switched to the suite from 1919 that I actually based this arrangement then on. I took what Strawinsky did for cuts. And the orchestra had become so used to playing the full version that they referred to it as Firebird Light.
That might be even more exciting than the Disney version for Fantasia 2, where there is the orchestra version conducted by Jimmy Levine of the Symphony Orchestra. By the way, we had the creation there at Carnegie Hall in 1999.
Yeah.
That's also worth to see.
I'm sure there is some recording in the internet. Nowadays, everything is in the internet.
That's supposed to be conducting, right?
The channel, you could get it. Yes.
There's a lot of this material that you can find. Yeah, wonderful. I have to look a little bit on our time, because we have a third part of the evening, which is dedicated to all the people who were listening. Actually, pretty soon you can all now go to your YouTube chat. You can also use Skype to join us and ask your questions to our artists. But before this, of course, we have again a little surprise. Dennis and Maki, this evening brought two pieces, and this will be the finale of the musical program, and please stay with us and join our discussions afterwards. So Dennis and Maki, what are you going to present now?
We're going to play two delicious pieces by Shostakovich, a polka from a film score called Unity, and a waltz from his second ballet suite. I think I just turned it around. The polka is from the ballet suite, and the waltz is from the film score for a film called Unity. Shostakovich will play polka and we'll play waltz. Zava, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you and congratulations to this wonderful project. Ciao.
Again, thank you very much. Another really nice highlight to have these two little, very funny and vivid pieces. And the waltz actually is really a nice finale for this evening. And I'm already reading the first question from our YouTube chat. I wonder how you decide who plays which part. Does Maki always sit on the right side?
I love this question, and yes, Maki plays always the upper part. When we have two pianos, she's the first piano, I'm the second piano. I enjoy, of course, very much the art of accompanying, the art of supporting, the art of being a little bit in the background, but also, very frankly, her parts are much more difficult than my parts generally. Not always, but very often. And it's just the way we've done it. It's something we've established over time, and it works. And I like that. And
it works better because your sound is much better.
Well, anyway, it really works very well because the results are just amazing. And we have another question now from the Skype chat. Have you recorded Elegy? This was this wonderful new piece by Philip Glass last week. I love it, says Chili from London, somebody you know probably.
Yeah,
well, we do have a recording from the first performance last week, which was quite a good one, and Philip was happy with it. And I believe there's a plan now to bring it out very quickly now on Orange Mountain Music. They'll probably be announcing that in the next couple of weeks.
Actually, that's the great thing again with our wonderful Bösendorfer piano, because we actually record all these concerts with the piano itself. This is one of these robot pianos, I would even say, who can really super precisely record every little movement, every little detail. And then we just play repeat. And that gives us, of course, wonderful opportunities to later record, also make audio recordings of our programs.
I often just say that the piano has one serious limitation, though, because it only plays the way you play. So what you play into it is what you get out of it, unfortunately. It doesn't improve. But there was quite a nice performance last week, so I think we can bring it out.
Okay, from the YouTube chat, we have a next question. Which music touches your heart most?
Come.
Oh, it's very difficult, isn't it?
We know there is a very diplomatic answer to this. Always the music that you're playing right now.
Well, I'll tell you something. A few weeks ago, when we were spending really a lot of time at home and not allowed to go out very much, and at dinner we had wonderful recordings by Ella Fitzgerald, and we were both very moved. So I think this is an answer. I think music is the language that can touch our hearts in so many ways, and we're just fortunate to have it, and it's probably a question that we could answer in a different way all the time. Sorry to evade it, but...
We'll have also Nat King Cole,
yeah.
how he's playing the piano, too.
But this leads perfectly nice to the next question, actually. Do you listen to sings? With sings, I think they mean musicians and even stars of pop music like Katy Perry.
My daughter does. So I hear it sometimes.
Cool, yeah. I think it's an interesting question that people often think that if you're professionally so involved with classical music like you are, that you don't have the time or interest in other types of music. But as you just mentioned also with Ella Fitzgerald or Nat King Cole, of course, there is a very broad variety.
We're both similar in the sense that if we listen to music, it's not music we would play ourselves. It's usually another form of music. Although recently we had a wonderful present from Elizabeth Leonskaya, she gave us her complete Schubert piano sonata recordings. And I have to admit that we spent 2 or 3 evenings listening to several of those and enjoying it very much. But we do like, both of us like jazz very much, and we like listening to good singing. So,
Lady Gaga sings also beautiful.
Definitely, yes. So next question, why are so many conductors pianists?
it's very useful for a conductor because, as I mentioned before, I enjoy accompanying. And of course, where you first learn to accompany is with the piano and with singers and musicians and instrumentalists. But it also helps in terms of playing scores, reading from scores. I think also with the piano, right from the beginning, you're involved in vertical sounds. You're involved in 2 or 3 or 4 lines at once. And this doesn't mean that there aren't very good conductors who are violinists or cellists. Toscanini was a cellist, and Leonard Bernstein was a great pianist. So you have that contrast.
Okay, we are already getting the next question here. Oh, difficult questions this evening. What's the most difficult piece you have ever played?
Difficulty is, sometimes the difficulty has to do with the discipline involved in playing very simple things. Playing something like the Firebird, which is technically very complicated, and there are parts of it that are extremely sensitive, but that's a lot easier than playing a very simple Bach invention for a lot of reasons. So usually I think most of us, I remember one time having a performance with Janos Starker playing the Triple Concerto of Beethoven. We came off stage together. I was the pianist, and Romuald Tekel was the violin soloist, and Janos was the cellist. And we got backstage, and Janos said, "Let's go to a room and play a C major scale together one time." So it depends really, but I think the most difficult pieces tend to be the ones with the fewest notes and where every note counts.
Play at home is easy, but to play for the audience or for the concert is really very tricky, difficult. It's another means difficult.
I think this brings us back a little bit to the first concert we had in this series of our Corona concerts with Mamer Loire, which initially, at least as the story goes, he composed for children, but then it turned out to be actually really a very tough piece to play, and exactly as you said, very few notes, of course, is really a super big challenge to perform it, which is actually pretty similar for visualizations. Yes. The more notes you have, of course, the more you can show off. It's sometimes more work, but the difficult thing is often really the subtle and the minimal. Which is again a good word, minimal, brings us to the announcement of next Friday. Next Friday we are again, of course, 7 p.m. having here our concert, piano, music and visualizations with Maki and Dennis again. And we are playing, not we, you, we are showing, you are playing, of course, minimal music. So what will it be?
Steve Reich's Piano Phase, which is a seminal piece for 2 piano music. And we'll then after that play 2 chorale preludes by Johann Sebastian Bach in the piano forehand version by Jerzy Kurtak.
Great. I think that's it for today. Please, everybody, remember next week, Friday, you can tune in again. Use also the opportunity to visit our home delivery program throughout the week. A lot of interesting stuff is going on every day. So thank you very much. to the artists for giving us this wonderful present, and thanks to the audience for listening and tuning in. Bye-bye.